What is going on, guys? It is Austin with Gone in 60. Oh my gosh, the sun's so bright. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Today we're going to be doing an awesome comparison. I have saved some of my 0 to 60 runs in my Dodge Challenger Scat Pack, and I'm going to go to the exact same spot and try and replicate that same test with my 2020 Ford Mustang Bullitt. So 2019 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack versus 2020 Ford Mustang Bullitt. We're going to try the 0 to 60 times and see how well they do. Now, in my Dodge Challenger Scat Pack, the runs that you're going to see, I actually was able to get better times than those, but I never got any footage with them. So to try and be as fair as possible, the best I ever got with my Dodge Challenger was 4.7, and I was never, ever able to replicate that again. I never got below 5. I would say a good average for the Scat Pack was around 5.2 to 5.3. I did a lot of 0 to 60 tests from stoplights. Guys, there's so many factors in this. Altitude, you know, we're at 5,000 feet. We're high. And also, I drive a manual, so I'm not going to be able to shift as fast, obviously, as an automatic can. Depending on weather, depending on humidity, depending on air density, there's so many factors that go into this, guys. But I'm going to share with you side by side some 0 to 60 runs, and I'm also going to share with you just kind of some comparisons as I'm in the same speed range and flooring both cars to kind of see how they do. So guys, let me know which car you think is going to be faster in this, if the Scat Pack's faster, if the Mustang is faster. Just for some stats, the Dodge Challenger Scat Pack had about 485 horsepower. Not about, it had 485 horsepower. And my Ford Mustang Bullitt has 480 horsepower. But this car is roughly about 3,700 pounds, and the Scat Pack was 4,200 pounds. But this doesn't have as much torque as the Scat Pack. So anyways, I think there's some differences kind of between the two cars. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And with it, let's get right into it, guys. That was really good, but it didn't. No bueno. 5.8. All right, guys, did the 0 to 60 runs. It took me quite a while in the Mustang to just figure out kind of the sweet spot with launch control. You know, guys, when I did both of these tests, obviously they're not the same day. It's really hard to compare the two. So guys, it's really hard to really do an accurate test, especially time of day, weather, all the elements that kind of go into it. These roads that I'm doing this on, I'm doing it out in the middle of nowhere because honestly, I don't want to be in the way of anybody and I want to be as safe as possible. So really when it comes down to it, it took me a while to find kind of the sweet spot with the Mustang in terms of launch control. Just know with both cars, I messed around with so many different things like different modes, different launch control, RPMs, and those were the best that I could do on the road conditions and given the altitude and everything that I'm at. I'm still really annoyed. I love manual transmissions, but when I'm putting up times that Hyundai Sonatas can do with the automatic, it's kind of frustrating because I'm shifting as fast as I can. You know, I tried rolling into it easier. You know, I tried doing a lot of different stuff just to see if I could better the times, and it was really hard to replicate the two. You know, if I had to put money down, honestly, I feel like the Mustang grips better, but I don't know if that's necessarily true. You know, both of these cars have different tires on it. The Scat Pack had 245s on the back. These have 275s on the back, and these are summer tires. It's not quite summer. Right now it's, how warm is it outside? About 70 degrees. So honestly, it's warm enough, plenty warm. So with the Scat Pack having more torque, it wants to break the tires loose easier. I don't know if it's just the torque or if it's the tires, but with the Mustang, it's really hard to get it sideways. It's really hard to get the tires spinning, which is good. You want it to hook, but honestly, I thought the Mustang would have been faster, 0 to 60 wise, because it has about the same amount of horsepower, about 500 pounds less, but it also has about 65 less pound-feet of torque. So I don't know, you know, it's really hard to compare. I do know on the top end with these cars, the Mustang definitely is where it shines, is where it really breathes kind of in the top end and the high RPM. So, you know, I think they're very comparable cars. I really do. You know, I think this road that I'm going down is not the best to do these tests on, but I've tried to kind of simulate this the best I can for you guys. Those are my 0 to 60 runs. You know, I've tried the Mustang in some other places and nothing really any better. One thing that I will say, and this continues to be a repeated pattern for me, you know, I talked a little bit about getting to the performance settings of the Scat Pack, you know, track mode, sport mode, normal mode. One thing that I don't like about the Mustang is how hard it is and kind of complicated to get into launch control and setting the RPMs, as well as doing the track app to launch the car 0 to 60. It's not that easy. You can't do it from the sync screen. It has to be done on the steering wheel. You have to go into one app, go out of the other app, go back in another app. You know, you have to hit OK twice, you know, to start it on the Mustang. And I honestly, I don't like that. Like, kudos to you, Dodge. You made it easier to launch these cars. You made it easier to have a computer in here to track everything. Now, obviously, this tracks your 0 to 60. However, trying to set it up to go to 0 to 60 was a lot harder, and honestly kind of took the fun out of it, because there were a couple times that it canceled on me. There's a few times where, like, just going in and out of menus and settings and everything and trying to film and everything, it was really hard to do this with the Mustang compared to where the Challenger, you know, you just have your RPM set. Now this, you can have your launch control always on, but I really don't need it on all the time, or I really don't want it on, and I know it's not going to use it unless, you know, I'm launching at those RPMs. But I just felt the Scat Pack, it was easier to navigate, to get into 0 to 60, into launch control, into all of that. I also feel, given the torque of the Scat Pack, that it's faster 0 to 60 than the Mustang. Now, if this was a 10-speed, it'd be a different story, but really disappointed in the results, because this car, it just feels lighter. It does feel faster. You know, this has 20 more horsepower than the regular GTs, but only a 5 horsepower difference from the Scat Pack and 500 pounds less. I was really expecting this car with summer tires and everything to hook up better. Okay, one thing that I'm thinking, I've not checked my tire pressure on this car. I haven't. I'm sorry, guys. I just haven't since I bought it. These tire pressures do not seem right to me. They seem really high. They seem really full. Anyways, those are my tire pressures. If I do have too much tire pressure into the car, it's going to cause it to spin more. It's not going to grip. So anyways, guys, if I have too much tire pressure on the car is not going to hook. It's not. You do not want too much air in your tires, because it just causes the tires to spin, doesn't allow them to grab. So maybe that might play into effect. So I'm going to look in to see if these tire pressures are accurate and let you guys know. So guys, here's what the tire pressure needs to be for cold tires. 32, 32. I'm not sure when it's warm how much they're supposed to be, but I'm still guessing I'm high, and I think that might be contributing to some of the issues I'm having. It might take me some time to get used to it. Maybe, you know, I can see and try this again to see what I can do better. But at the end of the day, you know, I think the Scat Pack was 5.4 and then a 5.7. You know, I think I had a 5.4 or 5.5, but I don't know. I mean, I've ran my Scat Pack consistently at 5.2. a lot of times where I haven't got it on video, and so I feel that's an accurate time for me, and the Scat Pack is a 5.2 because I've done it multiple times, different street conditions and everything else, and in this car, barely get to 5.5 in it, which, I don't know guys, you put an automatic Dodge Challenger RT up against this, and 0 to 60, it's gonna be a race. But I don't know, if you guys have any pointers for me, let me know. I've tried some different things, but hopefully this gives you guys a good comparison. I do believe when you're going for speed, top end speed, the Mustang, these Coyote motors, it revs out to 7,500 RPMs. That's really where these cars kick in. It's not in the low end punch, the low end torque. That's what those Scat Packs are built for, is to kind of punch you down low. I feel this car really like wakes up once you get past 70 miles an hour and you get in the RPMs. Whereas the Scat Pack, I kind of felt like it fell on its nose a little bit, but getting to that 70, it did it in a very fun manner. So anyways guys, I hope you liked today's video. Had a lot of fun out here driving my Bullitt. It's an awesome day outside. Anytime I get to bang through the gears, anytime I get to hear that exhaust and just go fast, it's addicting. I love it. Thank you guys. This ends today's video. Catch you on the next one.